Yeah, baby! That's a big boy!
Fishermen in northeastern Elan recently found a huge surprise in their net.
I love fishing, but I've got to admit, big water bodies freak me out, because who knows what unknown creatures are lurking in the depths.
A fisherman in the Northern Territory says he's happy to be alive after being shaken awake by a monster crab.
So I got curious. What wild stuff do fishermen run into out there? Come tag along with me and buckle up, because this ride is a roller coaster from freaky-looking critters to fish straight up going after humans. So first up, we've got these scientists from Alien Sharks. Yeah, you already know it's gonna be wild just from the name. They get this random call about some freaky fish a local fisherman snagged, and when they roll up to check it out, what do they find? A frilled shark. That's a super rare catch. And personally, I find them straight up terrifying. Those gills flaring out and those trident-shaped teeth in rows. It's like some lab experiment gone wrong. But actually, they're older than us humans. Not the individual fish, obviously, but the species. They've been chilling in the oceans for like 80 million years, barely changing. Living fossils, basically. Those frills and teeth are fascinating to look at. No question. But I've got to move on before these creepy dudes start showing up in my nightmares. Frilled sharks aren't the only ancient weirdos out there. Fishermen in Taiwan were bottom trawling, just doing their thing, when they accidentally hauled up this monstrous-looking goblin shark. Its lineage goes back 125 million years back. Yeah, they are older than the frilled shark. Catching a prehistoric beast like that is already nuts, but then they get a bigger shock. This 800-kilogram beat who had to be moved around using a forklift looked extra strange, even for a goblin shark. Turns out she was carrying babies. 6 tiny goblin sharks inside her with those weirdly cute yet terrifying snouts. Oh, speaking of old sharks, reminds me of this one caught by the legendary angler Jeremy Wade. He's out there on a frozen ocean in Greenland, drills a hole in the ice, drops a line, and just hopes something bites. The next day, he pulls it up, and surprise! It's a shark way bigger than he expected. They even had to widen the hole just to get it out. These things are Greenland sharks, mysterious as heck. And get this, they can live up to 400 years. That's crazy. But this one passed probably because of being stuck overnight. At first, I felt sad for the shark, but then I saw those huskies nearby and realized they have got meals locked down for over a week. This YouTuber couple's fishing in the clearest water I've ever seen. It took me a second to believe it's not CGI. Things get wilder when they reel in a rare Napoleon fish. Check out this chunky boy. It's perfect they found such a cool fish in water that pretty. And those lips. Like it's been hitting the Botox hard. It's not just the big ocean creatures that freak me out. Honestly, the little critters give me way more chills. Take this guy, for example, diving in barehanded to grab a box jellyfish. Those spooky tentacles, they're loaded with stinging cells that can zap you with some seriously deadly venom. I'm terrified of them, no lie, but if I'm ever in the ocean, I'd probably forget that and let my dumb, intrusive thoughts win. Yep, I'd totally poke those tentacles just to see what happens. Did you know jellyfish were kicking it back when dinosaurs roamed? But so were these fish this fisherman reeled in. Alligator gars. One look at that long snout packed with sharp teeth, and you get why they're named that. They're living fossils too, barely changed since prehistoric times. And don't let their size here fool you, there's more to these guys than meets the eye. Another fisherman snagged one of these alligator gars, and holy crap, it shows how massive they can get, up to 8 feet long and over 300 pounds. Here's a wild fact. They can chill out of water for hours thanks to this swim bladder thing that kind of works like lungs, letting them breathe air. It's like they were halfway to becoming actual alligators, then went, nah, we're cool being fish. Good thing they don't have legs to chase us down, but still, They are river monsters I'd rather steer clear of. This poor guy just wanted a chill day doing what he loves most, fishing. He hooks a base tangled up in leaves, cleans it off, and starts showing off his catch, feeling all proud. Then, something insane happens.
Oh my god! Holy crap! Oh my gosh!
A snake pops out of the base's mouth. At first, he doesn't even clock it, but when he spots that sneaky, slithery dude, he chucks the fish and just keeps yelling, "Oh my gosh!" over and over. Turns out snakes are his biggest fear. And this bass? It was chowing down on one before it got caught on his hook. So this other fisherman's checking out his catch, and something way weirder than a snake slithers out of its mouth. What this little crawler does next? It bolts right over the dude's arm. I would have freaked out so bad. But how did it get in there? The answer is way more unsettling. These things are isopods, called tongue-eating louse, and check this out, they clamp right onto a fish's tongue. Here's how it goes down. They swim around, find a fish, sneak in through the gills, and start sucking the blood out of its tongue. Slowly, they munch the whole thing up and, get this, they then turn into the fish's new tongue. Finding one stuck to a tongue is nightmare fuel, but these fishermen, they caught one trying to sneak into their bait fish and got itself hooked instead. Look at the size of this thing next to the fish. I bet it was already chowing down on some other fish's tongue before it kicked the bucket and started hunting for a new target. Now, this fisherman's catch didn't have some parasite munching on it, but it sure looks bizarre. He's fishing late in the evening, thinking he might have to call it quits when something tugs his reel. He pulls it up, and it's a fish with this weird snout that kinda looks like an elephant's trunk. The same guy gets lucky and snags another one. They're called elephant fish. No surprise there. What's wild is he's near the shore, and these guys usually hang out deeper than 500 feet, using that snout to sniff out food on the ocean floor. Turns out they swing by shallow waters in spring to spawn, so this dude was just in the right spot at the right time. This Russian fisherman hauls in something even stranger than the elephant fish. At first glance, it's like a cyclops, one eye smack in the middle, but then he flips it, and there's another one. I thought, okay, that's just a deformity, but nope, I dug into it, and it's normal. These halibut fish start out with two eyes on one side, and then one slowly slides over to the other. Why though? What's the deal? Well, this fisherman's attempt at catching a halibut clears it up. Check how flat this fish is in the water, one side facing up. That's how they chill on the seafloor. If it were any other fish, one eye would be blocked, just staring at the sand. But with halibut, that migrating eye shifts over so both can peek up while they're lying flat. Pretty smart trick, huh? Before we dive into more freaky fish, I've got to show you this guy casually scooping a baby dolphin out of the water. I love dolphins, so at first, I was like, dude, why are you messing with this little guy? But then I rewatched it. Turns out the dolphin was stuck in shallow water, and this man's basically giving it a lift back to safety, so it doesn't die. Total hero move. Here's Jeremy Wade again, scouring the ocean for a rare shark. But his line snags something even crazier. You might think stingray or manta ray, close guess. They're in the same family, but nope, it's a Norwegian skate. These guys are bigger and heavier than your average skate, and check out that tail with those spiny little spikes. It's like nature cooked up what Patrick from SpongeBob would look like in an alien sea. This might be the only video of one online, so yeah, this catch is 1 in a million. It's a deep sea dweller. And you know what else hangs out in the deep sea with all those weird creatures? A giant squid. This one had no business messing with a fisherman's catch near the surface. But hey, survival's a game, right? Why pass up a buffet like that without a fight? Look at these guys just soaking in the view of this thing. Who wouldn't? If I could see a live one without diving into the ocean myself, I'd be all in. Sign me up. Want to see one up close? Let's swing over to this giant squid that got tangled in some fisherman's net off the coast of Ireland. This beast stretches over 20 feet, and to me, it's the closest thing we've got to a real-life kraken. Now, krakens in tails can sink boats, but the squids usually keep their distance. Not from this surfer, apparently. He got a taste of what a kraken attack might feel like when a squid decided to mess with him. Don't panic, he made it out fine, no harm done. Before we jump to other fish, I want to show what these fishermen dealt with when they snagged a small squid in their net. The little guy starts blasting ink everywhere, a classic defense move to throw off whatever's bugging it. Sometimes that ink's got chemicals to irritate predators, but these dudes, they're totally fine, grinning ear to ear with their catch. Meanwhile, the squid's over there giving off serious Squidward tentacles grumpy vibes. Some fishermen in Chile hauled in something huge. They got it near shore, but it was so big, they needed a crane to lift it out. This sleek, slim fish stretches about 20 feet long. It's called an oarfish, though some folks nickname it the doomsday fish, because old legends say when one shows up near shore, disaster's on the way. Well, I only see a massive, jaw-dropping creature. Nothing those Chilean fishermen caught after could top this one. These divers went fishing with buckets, and here's why. The fish they're after is an ambush predator. Zero chance it's chasing bait, and even though it looks slow, its bite's lightning fast. It's the weird-looking frogfish total camouflage champs. If you didn't know fish like I don't, you'd swear it's just a rock. They sit still on the seafloor, but when it's chow time, they open their mouths so wide they can gulp something their own size. And check those fins. They're built so these guys can walk or hop across the bottom. Just when I thought they couldn't get creepier. That odd bucket trick reminded me of another wild fishing method, spear fishing. This diver doing that, out there hunting. And he spots a super rare sawfish just living its best life, chasing down a school of fish. But that's not nearly as freaky as this thing that washed up on a shore in Thailand. It's got a fishy body, a humanish head, and two alien-looking hands. I'm calling hoax on this one. But if it is real, maybe some alien dropped their pet, because nothing in the ocean I know looks even close to that. What do you reckon, alien fish or messed up mermaid? Now here's something totally real, even if it sounds nuts. A fish climbing out of the water for a sip of beer. Proof's right here. These fishermen are out trying to catch something when a catfish scrambles onto their boat like it's done with ocean life and just wants to kick back with the crew for a bit. Not every fish is into sipping drinks. Some seem more into UFC. This one leaps out of the water and lands a straight headshot, knocking the guy flat out. Talk about a fighter. And they don't care if you're a regular fisherman or in the army. This fish went right for a soldier, aiming to shove him off his machine gun. It's like a warrior fish throwing itself into the fray so its buddies could escape. Those were small fry compared to what these guys faced. They were already trying to hook this beast, a 600-pound black marlin, and it decided, nah, I'm bringing the fight to you. It jumps onto their boat, thrashing to get free. Here's the funny part. The guy farthest from it took the worst hit when the fish flung a ladder with its fin, smacking him in the head. I guess the plan worked. The fishermen were so rattled by the surprise attack that the marlin slipped back into the sea. These guys were lucky their boat was way bigger than the fish, but not so much for some fishermen off New Hampshire. They're out there when, boom, a whale breaches and lands on the back of their boat, flipping it over. Good thing other fishermen were nearby to pull the guys out of the water. If they'd been alone, that could have gone way uglier.
Чем-то сейчас рожать. Не-не-не-не. Костюм испортит.
Дошка есть где-то.
The fish has clamped down his hand and won't let go. These are monkfish, aka sea devils, and that name fits, especially with the guy's face screaming agony. It took wood, a metal rod, and 2 dudes pulling hard to free his hand from that beast. So yeah, don't sleep on these things. Even if they look dead out of the water, their jaw power and muscle memory are no joke. These fishermen had some hungry company too. But this sea lion, total gentle giant, just standing there waiting for a handout. This chunky dude's clearly found the perfect retirement spot. No hunting, just free snacks. These guys in Colombia reeled in something so weird, they're yelling alien and space invader. Turns out they've never seen a fish like it, because it's a lyre-tail plico, and they usually are all dark and spiny. But this one's an albino. With those feathery wing-like fins and spines everywhere, I'd be screaming alien too if I were on that boat.
Alien. It's a real river monster.
I guess.
Yeah, man.
Finding an albino fish wasn't even on those guys' radar, and neither was this catch for an angler out kayak fishing. For a bit, he's thinking his hook's snagged on a rock or some plant, but then the line moves, and bam, it's a big octopus stuck on there. Look at the size of that thing. I bet this guy is still telling everyone about the day he nabbed an octopus. He's not the only angler lucky enough to snag an octopus, though. Another one got tangled in some fisherman's net, and they just backed off. Alive and kicking, this octopus was trying to leave their boat, and the fisherman decided to let it be. I mean, it's got enough arms to sort itself out, right? Octopuses are weird enough, but some take it to another level, like this blanket octopus spotted by fishermen in Australia. When it's swimming around, it legit looks like something out of a horror movie. Creepy much? Okay, can anyone drop in the comments and tell me what this fisherman caught? It looks like nothing I've ever seen. And get this, the guy who hooked it has been fishing for 30 years and still had no idea. These fishermen snagged a sailfish, and if you're wondering about the name, just wait till they flip open that fin on its back. This catch is unreal, not just for that killer sail and pointy bill, but these guys are some of the fastest swimmers in the ocean. Oh, and we can't see it here, but they can change color too, either to chat with their crew or mess with their prey. Wild, right? What this angler pulled up makes me uncomfortable. It's a triggerfish with lips and teeth straight out of a human mouth. Some of these guys have teeth so perfect and lips so big, they'd make fashion divas jealous. But they're not the only ones rocking human-like teeth. Check out this cute pufferfish flashing its perfect chompers at an angler, like, "Let me go, pal." And guess what? The little guy totally convinced him. Human teeth are weird enough, but a full-on human face? That's next-level eerie. If I saw fish like these in person, I would scream, chuck a rock at it, and run as far as I could before collapsing. But this one landscaper, though, decided to keep a koi fish with a creepy human face in his pond and even named it Bob. Bob's a local celeb now, but man, he looks like me if I got cursed to live as a fish, and I'm not vibing with that idea. A fisherman's doing his thing by the riverbank and pulls up. Not a human-faced fish, thank goodness, but a monster-looking creature anyway. This eel's not electric, but it's slimy as heck. The guy picks it up to give a closer look at the camera, and all I'm thinking is, another reason for why I'm never swimming in rivers. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, I stumbled on this clip of a dog hitching a ride on a dolphin's back. The dog belongs to a local fisherman, and it became friends with a dolphin that helped it swim to the boat when it was struggling. His feels like something straight out of a fantasy book. And you know what feels like it's ripped from a paranormal novel? This ghost shark. It's a type of chimera, something we only learned about in the 2010s, and there's no record of any fishermen catching one before. I'm thinking these ghostly things were hidden from us for a reason. Let them swim back to wherever they came from. How is this even a thing? I've got so many questions, like, how's this not just a plastic toy, but an actual living critter? Where are its organs hiding? It's basically a superpower, and I'm kinda mad I didn't get that instead. This angler didn't snag something totally wild, but he still gave us something I'd never seen before. The point of view from the hook on his fishing line. After all, most of the action's underwater, right? Man, I wish more anglers, especially the ones chasing big catches, would slap a couple of GoPros on their lines. How cool would that be? These commercial fishermen in India cast out their nets hoping for a bunch of small fish to sell, but instead, they found a 13-foot whale shark tangled in there. Now, they could have kept this giant, but what they did next won everyone over. Risking their own necks, they worked to shove that beast back into the ocean where it could swim free. It wasn't easy, but seeing that helpless whale shark take off again, totally worth it. Still want to jump into the ocean? Let's see how brave you feel after this. These divers had a crazy close call with some humpback whales. The whales burst out of the water, mouths wide open, chowing down on a school of small fish, and missed a diver by just a few meters. Lucky for them, humpbacks don't snack on big stuff like humans and probably dodged him on purpose. But if they'd wanted a bite, nothing was stopping them. Fishermen in Japan found a super rare megamouth shark caught in their nets, its mouth gaping wide. In its last moments, this beast was either trying to chew through the net or just said, "Screw it," and went to town on as many fish in there as it could before checking out. Speaking of weird and big sharks, check this one out, hauled up by a crane. It's a freaky reminder of the beasts running the show in those ocean waters. Yikes! Not every fish is huge and scary. Look at these little guys. You can press their backs anywhere, even yourself, and they just stick. All thanks to that oddly satisfying fin up top. It's like a super strong suction disc. Why's it there? Well, they hitch rides on big fish like sharks and whales, snagging free scraps from their meals. Smart move. If you're not the toughest around, just roll with the toughest to stay safe. This lady's a commercial fisherman, and one night she decides to go solo and bam, she lands the biggest fish ever. Check her out, all calm and cool, wrestling that giant on board like it's no big deal. Total hero in my book. Let's wrap this journey with something totally unexpected. A pipeline in Austria gets clogged, and when the authorities try to clear it, surprise, they fish out an 8-foot catfish stuck in there. Kinda like how you're stuck watching my videos, right? So, which of these catches blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, goodbye.